The Gales Point Village Council will meet tonight to respond to a letter that Vulcan Materials Company sent them earlier this week. Chairman of Gales Point, Jason Altshaft, told News 5 today that the council will write a letter that represents the pulse of the majority. Vulcan's letter to the council offers more jobs to collect additional samples from the testing site on the White Ridge Farms, where the company wants to conduct the mining activities. It informs that, as of this week, the next step for the company is to begin work. This means that there would be jobs for villagers who would receive twice the existing minimum wage for their labor. Those jobs had become available a year ago when the testing had first begun at the site. Through those economic opportunities, about 30 men were gainfully employed by the company to do manual labor. But when we spoke with one of those laborers following the consultation last Saturday, he revealed that even some of his co-workers had turned against the project.
We would drill in and get samples from the hill, and I was supervising that project there. At least 30 people was working, and everyone satisfied. But suddenly some people change.
The villagers explained that they are against the project because of the irreversible environmental impact that it will have, particularly on the plant and wildlife that cohabit the hills, that would be destroyed if the project is carried out. At least 24 conservation groups and concerned citizens have forwarded written objections against the project in the form of letters to the government. Supporting those letters is a research paper done by aquatic ecologist Dr. Ed Bowles. He believes that the project would also have damning environmental effects on the area, which sits adjacent to the Gales Point Wildlife Sanctuary, an ecological site that includes unexcavated Maya temples, creeks, caves, and lagoons. Senator Janelle Chanona, who is the vice president for Oceania in Belize, has a few questions of her own about the project.
Do we want a mining port and a mining operation at that location? Is it a given that because they have bought private lands that there is this immediate, I don't want to say dictate, but because they want it, it will happen? I recall somebody saying once that because they owned an entire key, they wanted to create their own country. And we told them plain and straight, that doesn't work. Here, that was a very light, if you will, light-hearted response to that. But I do think it does correlate that, no matter how the ownership about and who owns it, that this is still Belize, and collectively we all need to determine what happens where.
The U.S. Embassy, on behalf of Vulcan, last week reportedly requested a meeting between representatives of the company and the government. That meeting took place on Thursday, but CEO in the Ministry of Sustainable Development, Dr. Kenrick Williams, informed us today that there is no update following that discussion. The Ministry of Natural Resources, with responsibility for mining, has also come out strongly against the project and has indicated that Vulcan's exploration permit expires in November. But the verdict on whether Vulcan will or will not get approval for its project is still a ways off. The company has expressed its intent to purchase White Ridge Farms and to apply for an environmental impact assessment over the next 2 years. Reporting for News 5, I'm Marion Ali.